Hi. One of the things when we were considering moving into a fifth wheel and doing all the travel that really kind of was frightening and gave me a lot of trepidation was the hookup and tear down of the actual truck to the trailer, and setting everything up and taking it all down and getting ready to hit the road. And so I watched a lot of different videos and I learned a lot, but I still had a lot of fear about it. So I thought what I would do for, hopefully to help other people, would be to show you the process that I've come up with. And so today I'm going to show you the tear down and hook up to the truck of Airy. So here we go. We're going to start with the front stabilizer. I use a stabilizer on the fifth wheel because I find it gives a whole lot of stability. And when we're tearing down and getting ready to go, I do everything in the exact reverse order of how I set it up. So this would have been the last thing I set up, first thing to come down. Let me show you the stabilizer. Alright, this is a stabilizer. All it really does is a good tripod, holds up, takes some weight, makes everything a little more stable. First part of this is we loosen it up so it's not picking up any more weight. Lets the legs spread out some more, and it comes out just that easy. Just for storage, to keep everything tidy, I wrap the chain. And that's it. So now it's ready to store. So it just lives right here in the bed of my truck. I bungee cord it right into the side. So it's stored in just like that. And that's it. So now it's all stowed away, ready to go. Nice wet morning, so I'm going to get continually more wet. So the next thing we're going to do is head to the back of the RV and take the rear stabilizers up. One of the time-saving tricks that I did learn from other videos and other people is to use a screw gun or drill to speed this up and down. It really makes it a lot faster. So it's real simple. If you notice, when we camped here, this site was really unlevel. So we had to put a lot of blocks and stuff under it. I actually had to go get a rock to make this happen. So all we're going to do is just... Alright, now that the stabilizers are down in the back, the next step is to get ready to back the truck up under it. The first thing, and this is something that I tend to forget until the last second, so I like to do it ahead of time, is this is a release lever for the fifth wheel hitch. You have to pull it out, sort of lock it in place like that. So that unlocks the hitch so that the pin can slide up in there. Okay, so that's all ready to go. Next thing we're going to do is raise the RV up, so that's the height of the RV hitch itself. Then we'll back the truck up in there and underneath. One of the little tips that I learned along the way was I hate to have the cord and the emergency brake thing all hanging down when we're parked. So I found that if I can go up underneath here, I can stuff it up inside the hitch and it all looks clean and tidy and people aren't tripping on it and stuff the whole time we're here. So it just literally is stuck up inside of here and I need it all out. I just let it dangle, so as I back in, it's all clean and ready to go. I've raised this up to what I think will be about the right height. And then I'm going to back the truck in. As I get closer, I may have to raise this or lower this just a little bit. Time to back the truck up. So we're looking pretty good. We've got about an inch too high, so I'm going to lower it down because what I want it to do is so the hitch sort of slides right up on there and feeds it in. Right there. Now we're backed all the way in. Got a good solid thud. Let me know that it's all the way in. Retract front stabilizers. Set the weight of the truck, weight of the RV on the truck. And they're not quite off the ground yet, but all the weight's on it. Next thing I'm going to do is come up in here, lock it. Very important piece, the emergency brake. This is if, for God forbid, the RV comes loose from the trailer, from the truck. This will engage a brake and stop the RV. It's Beth. Next thing we do is plug in the electrical connection to the RV. So we have a hookup for the trailer hitch in the bed. I also have one in the back on the bumper, but I like to use this one, which is a whole lot more convenient. Make sure it's all the way in. That's been one of the biggest problems, is if it doesn't have a good connection, obviously your lights and everything don't work properly. Last but not least, don't forget to shut the tailgate. And we continue to retract. And I can just push this up using the pin. To retract. So it's off. Pull the pin, raise it up. Alright, one of the other things that we have to do before I put the slides in is I like to go up on top, check and make sure there's no debris, anything, leaves, sticks, that kind of thing. Clean it off, because all of that stuff is going to end up inside the RV. So I don't want any of that, and I don't want to damage any of the seals. So I take my trusty broom and climb up there. This morning was very, very foggy, a lot of dew, so it's slippery. So I always suggest you be really, really careful, and hopefully this won't be the silliest video of me falling off of my RV. So once I've cleaned off the slides, the next thing we do is we go ahead and retract them into the RV. The next step in my process is unhook the RV from the electrical connection at your campsite. So the first thing that I do, and what everybody has recommended to me, is always go over and turn off the breaker to be sure now there's no power going in. Unhook it from the pedestal. We use a Hughes autoformer, which controls and regulates the voltage into the unit and acts as a surge suppressor. We found out the hard way, that's another story, that this is really a good idea. So we disconnect the actual RV cable from that. Set that aside for the moment. Then as I put the cable back in, I like to just wipe it with a paper towel or rag, and that way it's clean every time. And that way when we get to the next campsite, I go to grab it, I don't get filthy. And I just store this right here, that way it's ready for me when we get to the next campsite. That's it, the electrical's all done. Last thing to do will be set up the blocks so we can pull off of these really high blocks that I have, and we're ready to go as far as the outside goes. I use two types of chocks to brace the RV to keep it from moving. One is this X chalk that goes between the wheels, it pushes out squeezes and stops all the motion. I really like those. They not only chalk it and keep it stable, but they stabilize the RV from moving, so there's no movement back and forth in the wheels when you're walking around and stuff. So they're really pretty simple. You use a supplied wrench that comes with them. I use both type of chocks. I have the traditional that just goes behind the wheel. And generally you put one in front of the wheel, but this side is so downhill, there's absolutely no point. It's definitely not going that way. So again, those I'm going to leave because we're going to pull out this way. As soon as we get the weight off of them, I'll take them out and stow them. Because this campsite was so unlevel side to side, we had to really work to get up way high on the blocks. So we used, I think, 5 of these blocks under each wheel to do that. And we had to step our way up to get here, so I'd rather not just fall off of the blocks by pulling off. So I'm going to put some in front of it to taper it down a little bit. I'm going to have to drive, as I drive down, stop, because I got to remove that block as we move forward. You'll see as we do that.
Stop. Keep going. Stop. Okay.
Then the last thing before we go is the stairs. And actually I lied. That's not the last thing before you go. The last thing before you go, there's 2 other things. You're going to walk all the way around the truck and the RV, checking to make sure everything's stowed. Did you close the antenna? Did you do the awning? Are all the basement doors locked? All the little compartment doors locked? And then the last thing I like to do before we take off is 2 things. Check the air pressure in the tires, and have somebody stand behind me and check to make sure my lights are working. At that point, I feel like I'm good to go. Hit the road, and happy trails. We hope you enjoyed our video. If you'd like to keep up with our RV adventures, subscribe to our channel, Travel, Insights, etc.